You weren't even alive at the time. That's what she told me in a 4-hour interview.
Let me ask you, Bart.
I'm not doubting that.
Let me ask you, what is the most convincing piece of evidence you have that it was faked?
Well, I have the crew of Apollo 11 faking being halfway to the moon using a 1-foot model of the Earth, and I have the CIA on a third track of audio telling them to fake a 4-second radio delay from Earth orbit. And then we have the eyewitness testimony of a deathbed confession of Cyrus Eugene Akers, who saw them film it at Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, even confessed to killing somebody to cover it up because the NSA asked him to do so. That's a strange thing to be saying.
You've also claimed, I'll come to you, Brian, in a second, but you've also claimed, you described what you call as anomalous shadows that are not parallel, suggesting multiple artificial light sources in a studio rather than a single distant sun. So these photographs that we're looking at now, you think are indicative of fakery?
Well, let me also say I went from being the biggest fan, greater fan than Brian. I had a shrine of Apollo pictures in my house for decades. And a filmmaker's job is to make fake scenes look real. Go back to the picture and look how shadows should be in sunlight. The sun, it's 1 million times bigger than the Earth in volume. It's 93 million miles away. It's going to cast shadows in the same direction on the Earth or the moon. There's 2 telephone poles about 5 feet apart. The shadows are parallel. Here's a picture that claim was taken on the moon of objects 5 feet apart. The astronaut shadows at 12 o'clock. The rock 5 feet away. The shadows at 9 o'clock. That can only happen with a close electrical light. We just proved with one photograph that they faked the moon landing, despite what anybody says, despite what the corrupt federal government says.
Tell you very clearly,
is being deceived. Your league is parroting back what you're told.
I want to use your own words. I want to treat you seriously, Bart. I want to say that you have talked to Candace Owens on her podcast, and you described what she later called the firmament, the asteroid belt, and then later the Van Allen belts. This is one key piece of qualitative but quantitative evidence that you have presented, which I think deserves attention. You've claimed the Van Allen belts are deadly and they are not survivable, and NASA knew that themselves. Correct or incorrect, Bart?
Well, show the clip. What clip number is it here, right? Let's hear it in NASA's own mouth.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges.
So that's your claim, Bart. Professor Keating, what's your response to that?
Well, it's not my claim. It's NASA's claim. He said we must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space, meaning the radiation
belts are deadly. And you're right, Bart. They are deadly. And NASA knew that because who did Van Allen work for? John Van Allen worked for NASA. So in order for us to believe it, and he testified that the Van Allen belts, if traversed safely, were no threat to the astronauts beyond getting a few chest x-rays, which you and I probably do every year, right? So I have a model of the Van Allen belts here. Here's a plasma globe, which has electron plasma in it.
I thought you bought that
30,000. Hold on, Bart, please. Now you're not letting me present scientific evidence, okay?